You've been listening to us share about our experiment for a while now, how we're using creativity to find more peace, more alignment, and more joy in our lives. And now it's your turn. This October, we're inviting you into the experiment with us. We're hosting a creative challenge where you will get to explore your own blocks, try experimenting through small steps, and discover how creativity can bring you back to yourself. You don't have to do it alone. We'll be in it together. Come join us on Instagram and be part of the experiment. We'd love to have you. Welcome to the Art Piece Experiment. We're your hosts, two artists and friends. I'm Tasha.
And I'm Brianna.
At the end of 2024, we decided we wanted to cultivate more safety, peace, love, alignment, and excitement through our art and our art practices.
So here we are sharing our journey with you, and we're so excited you're here. We hope you enjoy our conversations. They're honest, raw, just two friends talking to each other about the realities of life and creativity. We're so excited for you to join us and be along with us for the journey.
Have you ever struggled with saying I am an artist to other people?
I still feel like I struggle with that a little bit still, you know? But yes, I have.
Yeah. The other day I had someone ask me what I like most about myself.
That's an odd question.
Yeah, from someone that I've never spoken to before in my life.
Oh,
just randomly met them. It's like icebreaker question. I'm like, whoa.
Small talk.
I'm like, can I answer this when I'm not talking to someone else and it's just me?
Interesting.
I wanted to be like my creativity and the fact that I am an artist and that I'm like, really starting to embrace that side of myself and not just internally, but to the point that it's becoming more external. I mean, I've been like a professional artist for a few years now, and yet it still is like kind of hard. But it was weird that I still had that resistance in that question of like, can I say this out loud?
Yeah.
Can I say that? Can I say my creativity is the thing that I, appreciate the most about myself? Like, I think it's great. Why is that still so hard?
Yeah, that's so interesting because there is a lot of resistance. There's a lot of resistance to that identity and that question. And I feel like it's because in society it's not seen as a valid occupation, a lot of the time. Or like unless you're showing something monetary or monetarily, that's
right.
If you're big and famous, then
it's okay.
But if you're just doing it as a small,
on
a small scale,
it's interesting because when you're, sorry, I interrupted. When you're a kid, I'm going to keep going.
Keep going.
When you're a kid and people realize like, oh, you want to be a doctor when you grow up? Oh, you want to be a firefighter? It's very like encouraging and like, oh, you want to be this thing? That's cool. But when they see you drawing, it's like, oh, you're an artist. And the identity is like immediately put on you. Like you have no choice. You're an artist. And then they discredit it pretty much immediately after that. That's an okay hobby, or you won't make money with that, or like,
I feel like even if they don't even say those kind of things, it's implied, right? Where
like there's an attitude.
It's everybody's an artist. So, when they're kids, right? They're like, it's like, oh, everybody draws and everybody's like happy with little kid drawings and they're so cute, but it's not, it stays at that level. And, I heard this interesting thing too, is that everyone kind of peaks at like age 8 art level, like their art, kind of, it gets better as in childhood, and it gets better until like 8 or 9. And then unless you actually take time to develop and learn more skills, it just kind of stays the same. Like even adults, going back and drawing, they draw stick figures, right? Or like, I can't draw, like, I don't know how to draw, right? And it stays at that level unless you're intentional about it, unless you practice and learn new skills. And so I feel like that's kind of the expectation in society is up until that age, it's acceptable, it's cute, it's fun, but then it's time to, after that, it's time to kind of grow up and get into the serious, your
serious,
something respectable,
serious, something
exactly,
like, accepted in society,
valuable skill instead of, just a little kid drawing, right?
Yeah.
So it shifts around that age, I feel. And I think it stays that way. and that's just the perception, is that art and drawing and having dance parties with music, and I don't know, especially as you grow up in your teenage years, then you kind of feel awkward and you want to fit in, and so you let go of a lot of those childhood things. It's just kind of a very natural progression, I feel like.
Yeah. And
then in adulthood, I think there's this revival coming back, where in our generation, a little bit of people coming back to their childlike whimsy and hobbies and love. And
it's either the childhood ones or
the granny ones. Yeah. Exactly. And so I think that's really, really cool, but I feel like that's a very new thing. And before it was just, you grow up and you get a job and you go and work, you work until you're retired and you get a family. And so the expectations for creativity just drop off after childhood. That's a childhood thing, and you don't have it.
Yeah. Well, I find it interesting too with the way people approach it when they talk to kids. It's like, oh, you want to become this thing, and that thing is valued because you have to earn it and you have to work for it. Whereas creative things, it's like, oh, you already are this thing.
Yeah,
you don't have to work for
right?
it. You it already is your identity. It already is part of you, and it's like either you have the talent or you don't.
I think that's really interesting, because it's like you already have this because you're a kid, and all kids have this, and so that's probably why too. It feels like, oh, that's just childish,
Yeah.
When you come, when you're starting to come back to that thing, it's like, oh, that's that's something I did when I was a kid. That's childish.
Yeah.
That's not valuable as an adult, right? That's
right. But then when I don't know, it's weird, because when people see like, oh, you're good at art, most of them, it's this, I wish I had that talent.
Yeah.
And there is no working hard for it or earning it or.
They don't see the actual time and effort and practice that it's taken to get to that level.
Yeah. It's just like, that's cool.
You either have it or you don't. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's just not. That's not how it is at all. When I started watercoloring, I had a friend be like, oh, I wish I could be as good at that my first attempt. Like, I can't even draw a stick figure. And it's like, well, I've put thousands of hours.
Yeah. Like literally thousands
and thousands of hours into this. If you had put thousands and thousands of hours into this, you'd probably... You'd have a much more decent shot at feeling like your first attempt was good.
Right. Yeah. You would do much better than just stick figures. No, it's true. And I like thinking of it that way, because it makes it feel like it's possible for anyone, which it is, it's possible for anyone to be very skilled in something if they put in practice in hours.
Right.
And I remember we talked about this in an earlier episode about, I can't even remember. There was this study about like pianists, I feel, and the different levels of piano players. And everyone starts out the same. And then it's just, and it was like even the same kind of life stages, life period, life situations, economic situations, kind of, like they were all very similar in background, and nothing was really different except for the amount of time that they played piano. That was the difference between just hobbyists and professionals. Right. That was the only difference,
Makes sense.
And, talent wise too, in the beginning, they were like the same playing field,
Yeah.
And so it goes across the board, I think, for anything. Like there are things that we are naturally more inclined to and gifted in and things like that. or drawn to. And I feel like if we're drawn to it, then we're going to want to put more time into it, and we're going to do better at it. We're going to do well, right? Because we like it. We're enjoying it. And when you enjoy something, you do better at it. You want to spend that time in it. And if you don't like something, then you drag your feet and you're like, this is terrible and I hate this, right? And you don't do well, and because you don't put your whole self into it.
Right. But I also hate that people will think, oh, it's not worth putting time into this because I'm not good at it. Like, I enjoy it, but I'm not good at it. So I shouldn't waste my time on it. It's not a waste of time. If you're enjoying it, if it's fulfilling to you, if it gives you something, it's worth your time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's the shift that needs to happen in the way of thinking about creativity is if it is something that lights you up, that gives you excitement and joy and energy, you know, even if you're not good at it, that means it's worthwhile because it helps you be a fuller version of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think there's nothing wrong with wanting to get better at things, but I think we lose some of the joy when we lose sight of the way it makes us feel when we're doing it, rather than the outcome. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Did I say that correctly?
Yeah. Focusing on the outcome rather than the process.
Yeah.
Right. Or focusing on the process rather than the outcome.
Yes.
Like there's a big difference when you focus on the process versus when you focus on the outcome. And I think especially with social media and that whole, that whole
beast.
thing. Yeah. Feeling like you have to show it off, show off your life, and
then it has to be at a certain standard.
And there's so much comparison going on, and it's hard not to be in that cycle, in that whirlwind of comparison,
for sure,
and feel like you have to, in order to be valid, you have to show it off, and you have to be really good, right?
Yeah. So I was talking to one of my daughter's friends' moms, and she wanted to see some of my art and wanted to know what I liked to do, and so I showed her, and the first question, is this on social media? Are you sharing this? Are you showing this? And that's not the first time this happened. It's like, oh, you're at a certain standard, you should be showing this off, you should be sharing this. And it's interesting that that's the first question. That's like the first.
Yeah, it is. Even when I told people, oh yeah, I do paintings and stuff, they're like, oh, do you have a social media? Are you on there?
Are you making money off of this?
Is it valid?
It's interesting. Like the first thing is it valid?
Let me assess the valid level, right? Like that's what it kind of is, doing those questions, or assessing how seriously to take it and how impressed to be, and they're trying to feel it out, right? And I do that too.
Same.
It's a natural kind of, that's just how we communicate and how we
and I feel like it's become a protective mechanism for ourselves too, of like, in showing things, you have to make sure that the value is there from outside perspective. And I think that really affects us in how we show up to create too, because it causes so many limiting beliefs and holding ourselves back and not wanting to even start sometimes because we can't justify the value.
I think that has been probably one of the biggest blocks for me in even starting, and why it's still hard, but for sure that has been so difficult in starting the whole creative process, because I feel like I can't start unless I have to video it or film it. I have to like document the process so that I can share it online, and it has to be at a certain level. It has to look good. There has to be good lighting, right? And so there's like all of these pressures and expectations that I put on myself before I even start. And so then it gets so overwhelming that it doesn't sound fun anymore. You know, it's like, well, I don't want to do that.
And so, especially when you're comparing to people who have been filming for years
Yeah.
and they've gotten good at it.
Right.
And when you're just starting
I have
out,
a whole setup, right?
you're not good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So then that causes more.
Because it's focused on the outcome rather than the process, right?
Yep.
It's that whole problem is being focused on the outcome and how it looks to other people so that it can feel valid and valuable, so that I can feel good about myself and feel like justified in taking the time.
Right. And you talk to a first year med student. They're not expected to be a doctor.
Right.
They're not expected to know everything. Like, they are allowed that process of becoming. Artists aren't allowed the process of
you shouldn't
becoming.
be sharing this. Like, if you're not that good, you shouldn't be sharing. Like, that's a lot of the vibe, It's like, if you're not good, then don't share it. Right.
But we internalize that and then we say, oh, I'm not allowed the process of becoming. I'm not allowed to give this to myself.
Right.
Because it's not okay outside of myself. Other people won't accept it. It's not okay. And I think we need to just rewrite that narrative.
We need to change that story. And that, I feel, is a major thing of this experiment, is just showing up for ourselves and embracing the process of becoming.
Yeah.
Embracing where we are now and being okay, like creating safety around that.
Yeah.
And not having to justify it all. And how do we do that, right? How do we do that? It's, I think, really by the pillars that we've set up, the pillars that we're trying to follow is just creating for ourselves, right? And aligning with what feels good and not worrying about other people, but just looking inward to, what do I like? What delights me? What lights me up? Yeah. What do I want to be doing? And what fills me with energy and joy? Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And rewriting that narrative of these things are worthy. I am worthy of these things.
Yes. And really, sitting in that, like feeling that. And it takes time. Like, it takes reminder and doing that again and again and again.
Yeah.
Before it starts to really sink in and feel true, because we've had so many years of discounting it, know? So many years of just saying, oh, listening to those voices of it's not valid. That's just silly. That's whatever, all of those negative beliefs about them. And so it takes time to sit in that, and it takes intention too.
Oh, yes.
It takes intention and showing up, choosing to show up and consistently. And consistently is kind of that's a loose term. Like, it doesn't have to mean every day or every, this time at this day, but just repeatedly, repeatedly showing up and creating that space for yourself, creating that space of love and acceptance and safety.
It's been interesting because I feel like you and I have both been a little bit triggered with all of this the last few weeks, because we just started sharing on social media.
Oh my gosh, it's been the last few weeks.
It's been exhausting.
Yeah.
And like low-key traumatic. Like, it's been like,
we've had some drama.
Everyone online has been so lovely and kind.
Yeah, they really have been.
Like, it's not been,
it hasn't been that bad. Like,
no,
it hasn't been bad at all. It's been a really positive experience.
Yeah, but I think it all just stems from all those limiting beliefs from childhood,
right?
From being scared to show up and to show others what we've been doing.
Yeah,
and feeling like, we have to justify the value.
Yeah,
and we have
now we're out there.
Yeah, we
people are seeing it, and so we gotta. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. And a lot of expectation, like all those pressures and expectations are like, they're here,
no.
They're back again.
Yeah. And is this good enough to share?
Yeah.
And we want to be really real and honest and raw with what we're sharing and authentic. And, like, sometimes the pictures or videos we want to share aren't going to be gorgeous and, cinematic, like they were made by a movie company.
Yeah, right.
It's like, this is just the real life moment of what I painted this week or how I showed up creatively for myself this week. It's not always beautiful. It's not always that polished feeling, and we don't want that.
Right.
But we still get caught in this trap of, but we have to.
Yes.
We have to show up that way. That's the only way to do it. It's like, no. It's not, but it's hard.
It is hard. It's hard to combat that.
Yeah.
Especially and the perfectionism and people pleasing and, all the personal levels of that as well.
Yeah. And as artists, it's like, well, you have to show up aesthetically.
Right. It has to look good.
It has to look good, or you're just not even a valid artist.
Right.
Like layers and layers and layers of limiting beliefs just from hosting our art online.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of wild when you break it down and really think about it. It's like, wow, there is a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. And it doesn't have to be that way.
No.
How do we let that go?
Yeah.
How do we let it go? Because it can be easy.
It can be. Yeah. And, not everybody is going to want to show their art online. Not everyone's going to dance, on TikTok. Not everyone's going to want to share their baked goods on social media.
Right. Yeah.
Not everyone needs to show off their stuff or show up that way. And that's fine. And we're not necessarily promoting that. But sometimes it's just in your community, in your family, in your friends. Like, who are you sharing it with? Are you sharing it with anybody? Do you need to? Is it important to? I think when you have the right people, it is really important.
Yeah, I feel like, community is connect, right? That's our third pillar. How helpful it is to have like-minded people and people that understand what you're doing and support you.
Yeah.
That makes such a huge difference. It's so hard to share with people who are not in the same space or don't understand or not aligned or don't value it the same way. That's really hard. But when you find those people that are your people, they get it, they understand, they have that same vibe, that same drive and passion, then it's so much easier for one to show up because it feels safe, right? Yeah. It feels safe because you will be understood and you won't be criticized because they understand. And I feel like that makes a huge, huge difference. But you have to know your people, right?
Yeah.
Just because they are in your world doesn't necessarily mean that they are the right people to share with. And that's okay, right?
Yeah.
We talked about that before. Yeah. Like, it's okay that one person doesn't meet all of your needs, right?
Right.
And so finding who you need in different areas of your life. And if there's one person that can be in all areas of life, or, people that can be in multiple, like we cross over, like people cross over. And anyways.
Yeah.
But, I think finding people that are safe and supportive, that helps so much. So much.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not a matter of even necessarily, I have to share this to, even like help other people, or like, you're finding justifications of sharing it in that way. I don't know if that makes sense, or if I even talked enough about it for it to make sense. I'm trying to gather my thoughts here.
Yeah.
But it's sometimes, our experiment is all about creating to align and to become our truest selves.
Right.
And aligning to create.
Right.
To creating things that really resonate and to feel like us. And so it's kind of like this full circle thing. But when you have people that you can share that with, it helps you find your self-worth and self-value outside of anything that you're producing or creating. Like, you don't get your self-worth from another person. That's not what I mean. But we are, like, as humans, we need connection. We need other people.
Yeah.
And I think, sometimes it's like, well, you have to be really independent and you have to find your self-worth, and you can't be attached to anybody else. And it's like, okay, that is That is true.
To a point.
But we also need connection.
Yeah.
And if we don't have the people around us that will support us in being aligned and what matters to us, we're not going to find that.
Yeah.
We're not going to find that and create that for ourselves. Yeah. We're not going to align that way. So, you need both. Like they work together.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So like not being dependent on other people's opinions or, feedback, not being dependent on others for your own self-worth, but connecting with others
who see you.
Right.
And love you for who you are.
And support you and being fully aligned with yourself. That builds confidence, that builds safety, that builds trust, that builds, all the good things that we need as humans to survive and thrive, right? That builds thriving, is to have community. And I think, showing up as your full self, your authentic self, aligned with who you are and who you want to be and what delights you, that starts with being real with yourself. Like that starts as a, internal process. You can't show others that unless you know it yourself, right?
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of work, and it takes healing. And so I think that's really the first step, is asking those questions. What delights me? What do I really want out of life? What do I really love out of life?
Yeah.
And what makes me, right? And then being real with yourself and not answering the questions with the lens of what others would approve of. That's huge. That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. And, coming back to the question of, being able to say, like, I am an artist. Like, can you say that? Can you say, I am an artist?
Can you say it to yourself?
Can you say it to yourself?
Yeah.
Like, really, truly to the point of, this resonates.
And if not, why not?
Yeah.
What comes up?
Yeah. And if you're not like a painter or something, replace the word artist with your creative medium.
Right. Yeah.
But the rule still applies there.
Yeah. Am I a dancer?
Yeah.
Am I a cook? Am I, whatever it is. But can you say that to yourself? And how does that feel? Pay attention. How does that feel when you say that? Where is it? Like, where do you feel it in your body?
Yeah.
If it's feeling uncomfortable, where is it feeling uncomfortable? And why is it feeling uncomfortable? What other thoughts come up?
Dig deep into that.
Yeah. What other resistance comes up?
Yeah. What's the root cause? Like, why is that feeling uncomfortable in your body? Why can you not say it? And, I think sometimes when we, tell a lie or something that's not fully true, we feel it in our body, and it's same with this. You say, like, I'm an artist, but then there's that like tightness somewhere in you where it's like, oh, I just told the lie.
That's not fully true.
That's not fully true. Get really curious about that. Why do you feel that way?
Yeah.
Why is that there? And do you want to continue feeling that way? Or is that something you want to be able to say and have it be a full truth?
Right.
I mean, if it doesn't matter to you, then that's fine. But if it's like, you know what? No, I want that to be a full truth. I want to feel completely comfortable with that and own that.
Yeah.
Then, it's a matter of getting really curious about the whys and the limiting beliefs and what's going on, and then taking the small steps forward towards how you actually want to show up.
That's it for today, friend. Thanks for spending this time with us. We hope you're leaving with a little more light, a little more peace, and maybe even a nudge to go be creative, just because it brings a little more joy to your life. If anything in this episode spoke to your heart, sparked a thought, or made you smile, we'd love it if you'd follow the show, leave a quick 5-star review, or share it with someone who might need a little creative encouragement too. And remember, your creativity matters. Your voice matters. You matter. We're cheering you on always. Until next time, keep making, keep softening, and keep showing up as your whole beautiful self.